Black and White Network fans, we are back with another video. And I have a question for you guys. Have you guys ever tried to actually have a conversation with a leftist? Probably not. The reason is leftists really don't let you speak. Now, I listen to the Cruz show out here in Houston pretty much every single day. And every now and then he'll have some leftist actually call into a show. And the leftist always tries to talk over him. Even when they ask a question, Chris actually tries to reply, but then the leftist tries to speak over them. Why? Because the leftists, they don't really have a good argument whatsoever. They don't actually make points. And when they ask you a question, they just get so triggered. When you actually try to say something, they speak over you. Now we're going to be talking about this whole Uvalde thing yet again. As you guys know, what happened in Uvalde, very, very tragic. 21 people dead, 19 children. It's sad. It's really, really sad. And the NRA convention is out here in Houston. And Ted Cruz, he actually was at the convention, and then he goes out to eat at a restaurant. And then he's confronted by an activist. Check this out, guys. Over here on Fox News, Ted Cruz confronted by activists at restaurant after Uvalde shooting after NRA appearance. Now, there is a video clip here we're actually going to check out. And this man right here, Benjamin Hernandez, he's an activist with Indivisible Houston. I've never heard of them. He actually walks up to Ted Cruz at this restaurant. And guys, he actually wants to take a picture with Ted Cruz at first. And he does. And once the picture's over with, then he goes into this tirade, talking about guns and all this other stuff. And he keeps speaking over Ted Cruz. And Ted Cruz is like, well, let me try to talk and reply. But when you're dealing with a leftist, this is the way that they act. So this is just some still images here. This is like right after the photo op right there. And this is happening in public. OK, it's happening in public. And based on that picture right there, you can see security coming in. You can probably tell that it really didn't end too well. Well, let's go ahead and check out the clip over here provided by Indivisible Houston. And it says here, several hours after NRA convention, Indivisible Houston board member Benjamin Hernandez challenges Ted Cruz to support background checks and other measures during a dinner break. Now, the thing is, background checks already exist. There's no background check in the world that would have stopped what happened at Uvalde. I hate to say it, it's a sad reality. But let's go ahead and check out this clip here. Let's roll it.
Hi. Hey. Okay, you ready? Yeah. Okay, hold on. All right, 1, 2, 3. Go. We're good. Yeah, we got it.
You know, I would encourage you. I gave a half-hour speech today in the NRA convention.
Now, I believe he's asking about background checks, and I am going to summarize what he said. I know it's probably a little bit harder to hear.
There are actually a lot of laws.
Yeah, but can you tell me, like, I have a young daughter, and can you tell me why it's more important, why you can't support stronger gun laws?
Because the laws
Tell me about background checks. What about background checks? Background checks. Can we do background checks?
Sir?
Is it so hard?
All right, you don't want to listen to me?
But is that so hard? No, I do. I'm just saying.
No, you actually don't.
Go ahead. I'll listen.
Okay, so he finally shuts up and tries to let Ted Cruz speak.
So, if you look at the laws, the Democrats are going, they wouldn't stop the mass murder.
Do you know this shooter waited until the day he was 18? Why is it so hard to support stronger gun laws?
But background checks wouldn't stop this shooter. But you know what would have? The bill that I introduced.
You can make it.
And we'll talk about what Ted Cruz was proposing too.
We can make it harder for people to get guns in this country. Sir, you know that. No, you know that. But you stand here. You stand at the NRA convention. It is harder. It is harder when there are more guns to
You
stop gun
combine
violence.
ignorance and hatred.
It is not ignorance.
You don't know what you're talking about.
We are in this country.
Yeah, he doesn't know what he's talking about.
And there are kids dying. There are kids dying. Why is it so hard?
Pardon me.
Why
Why
do
is it so
Democrats,
hard?
why do Democrats feel about some of my bills that would have stopped you violence?
I told you that.
So now they got to pull him away because he's getting really worked up.
But why does this keep happening? Why does this keep happening? Why? Hey,
Okay. He's just talking.
why does this keep happening? If you don't get out of his face, and why did you come here to the convention?
You need to back
take
up. You
blood
need to
money?
back up. You need to
Why?
back up.
When 19 children died,
You need to
19
back up.
children died. That's on your hands. That is on your hands. That Cruz, that's on your hands.
Now he's trying to put all this on Ted Cruz. This is why you cannot have conversations with leftists. Now, let's go back and try to summarize this a little bit here. Okay? It says here, in the clip posted by Indivisible Houston, Hernandez then quizzes Cruz on gun control measures, including asking why Cruz does not support further background checks. Quote, the background checks wouldn't have stopped the shooter, Cruz responds. You know what would have? The bill I introduced. Hernandez then interrupts Cruz, getting more and more agitated. Quote, we can make it harder for people to get guns in this country, sir, he says. You know that. But you stand here, you stand at the NRA convention. It is harder when there are more guns to stop gun violence. Cruz accused the man of combining ignorance and hatred. Quote, you don't know what you're talking about, he says in the clip. Hernandez, who describes himself as a, quote, once undocumented immigrant, in other words, he was an illegal alien here in this country, and has previously run for Congress, so I'm assuming he's a U.S. citizen now, continues to argue with Cruz as security gets involved and tells him to back up. Quote, why does this keep happening? Hernandez yells before accusing Cruz of coming to the convention to take blood money. This is ridiculous here. As he gets more agitated, security starts to move him out of the restaurant, at which point he screams over at Cruz. Why, when 19 children died, this is on your hands, Ted Cruz. That is on your hands. Hernandez later defended his actions on Twitter, so he was actually planning this, it seems. He says, quote, I wasn't going to let that effer walk into the restaurant where I was having dinner and not have him hear me, he said. They can do something, but they just don't want to. So let's let them have it. Now, he could have just, had a civil conversation with Ted Cruz. Let Ted Cruz talk. You talk bad, but no. Leftists love to talk over people. It is impossible to have a real conversation with leftists. And what the left is proposing doesn't stop these shootings from happening. It doesn't. It really, really doesn't. Now, it says here, in March, the latest instance by left-wing activists confronting or just interacting with lawmakers on both sides of the aisle who don't agree with them. Multiple Trump administration officials were confronted at restaurants during the Trump administration. Remember, Maxine Waters told the left to go out there and cause a ruckus, get in that face and tell them they're not welcome. Remember that, guys, right? I remember it. More recently, Democratic Portland Mayor Ted Wheeler was punched by activists in a restaurant this year. In October, moderate Democratic Senator Kristen Sinema was chased into a bathroom by illegal immigrant activists over her lack of support for amnesty. Yeah, all of this violent stuff, man, is coming from the left. It always does. Now, it says here, earlier at the NRA convention, Cruz called for significantly increased school security in schools, including single entrances, armed guards, and more, as he railed against Democrats for pushing gun control. There he also mentioned his legislation that would have created a federal task force to go after people who buy guns illegally, and it would ensure all federal felony databases are up to date. Cruz also railed against changes in U.S. culture, including violent media and isolation in virtual life, in the absence of community and faith and love, as fundamental problems that cause shootings like the one in Uvalde. So there you have it, guys. This left-wing activist just went berserk, and we are seeing this a lot from the left. You cannot have a conversation with these people. These people are insane, completely insane. They're not tolerant whatsoever. Ted Cruz never lost his cool whatsoever. He stood there, took a picture with the guy, wanted to have a conversation in this restaurant, but this guy wanted to get kind of aggressive. He was getting agitated. Ted Cruz kept his cool the whole time. You leftists out there, man, you cannot make a good argument when you're actually getting very, very aggressive like this. The left just doesn't want to have a civil conversation whatsoever. That's just my thoughts on this. What do you guys think of this? Black and White Network fans, let us know what you think about all this in the comments. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, and we'll catch you next time.